Hi there, and thank you so much for joining me here on the mat for another Impact Pilates workout. If you have been following along on either social channels or you have come to the studio and are a current client, you know that myself and my family were currently recovering from COVID, so it has been a long couple days. We unfortunately got hit kind of hard, but I'm finally feeling a little bit better. And I was ready to film another class and at least really get to the mat myself really, so I thought I would film it and kind of take you along with me because I figured this would be a great workout to share if you're recovering from COVID yourself or just any other illness, or even just in a stage of life or a period of life where you're just feeling depleted, overwhelmed, kind of tired, maybe anxious. And I figured this would be just a great class for you to follow along with. I don't want to say it's easy, but it will be just a lot of, again, feel-good movements. We're going to bring the body throughout an entire workout, meaning like moving through all ranges of motion, from rotation, opening up hips, as well as activating and bringing support back to our body, but in a gentle way. But we're going to be efficient with our time, and again, I think this would just be a great class for you to refer to just in those periods of time where everything is just feeling a little overwhelming and you just want to take a few minutes back for yourself. So if you would join me here, and again, I apologize if I either start coughing in the middle or moving a little slow or right and left getting mixed up. We're still, again, coming back from it. So anyway, we're going to find ourselves down on the mat to start, and you can bring your feet into a nice wide position. So almost think of bringing them about as wide as the mat will allow, maybe even outside the mat if that feels right for you and your body. And I want you just to do a few pelvic tilts, so just rocking that pelvis back and then rocking the pelvis forward. And just bringing some movement back into that lower body, noticing that when you rock the pelvis, that changes what happens with the lower back. And moving in a range of motion to where it feels good for you, not overdoing it any which way. And then we're going to stop right in the middle where we're nice and neutral, noticing just a natural curve between the lower back and the mat, not holding any tension through our hips, through our spine, or even in the pelvis. And we're just going to stay here and start with a few big breaths, just to bring some breath back into our body. We're going to take an inhale, feeling the rib cage expand front, side, and back, and trying to bring the breath all the way down to the pubic bone. And then exhaling out through the mouth. Just feeling the rib cage soften and relax. Feeling the chest and the neck as well. Just soften as well as the jaw. And again, another full breath in. Exhaling out. One more time. Another deep inhale. And exhaling out. Now keeping the pelvis and spine neutral, we're going to lift the toes, and now we're just going to mobilize the hips. We're going to externally rotate to where we can place our feet down, and then lift the toes, internally rotate, placing then the feet down. So we lift and we're just spinning out, and then we lift and turn in. Lift, turn out, lift, turn in. That's it. Externally rotate and internally rotate. Again, these are as big as your body allows. And in, two more. Out, just lubricating through the hip joint. Out, in. And now turning out, holding it here, we're going to add the spine. So now we roll up to the widest part of the shoulder blades. And then we're going to lift, turn in, and melt the spine back down. We lift the toes, we turn out as we curl through that lower back, peeling up to the shoulder blades. And then lift, turn in as we soften through the shoulder blades. That upper, that middle, that lower, and back to neutral. Again, turn out, peeling up. Turn in, rolling down. One more time, turn out, peeling up. Turn in, rolling down. And now we're going to reverse it here. Keeping the knees turned in, we peel up. And then we're turning out as we soften and melt down. Turning in, rolling up. Turning out, soften and melt down. Two more. Turning in, peeling up. Turning out, soften and melt down. Last time, turning in, peeling up. Turning out, soften and melt down. And now we're going to lift our toes so our knees and our toes are back to parallel. Then we're going to take that right knee, we're going to bring it in, we're going to grab behind the thigh. Our left foot is planted down, we're neutral through the pelvis. And now from here we're just going to gently bend the elbows, think of pulling that right knee in. It's getting a little stretch through the back of the hip. And then release it out, just to where we can lengthen your elbows. And again, a little pull in. And release out. Two more. Trying to keep that sacrum heavy. Stretching through the back of the hip. And release out. One more time. We're pulling in. And reaching out. Now we're pressing down through that left leg. We're going to now activate the left glute. We're turning it on. We're still holding onto that right thigh. And then we're pressing into that left foot and we're just lifting both sides of the pelvis. Feeling that support come from the back of the body. And then we fold and lower down. Turn on that left glute. Press open through that left hip. And then we release, fold and lower down. Connect, press, lift. Opening through that left side. Release and lower down. We're doing 3 more here. Think of lifting both sides of the pelvis together. Lower abdominals drawing up. And then release and lower down. 2 more. Turn on, press, lift. Doesn't have to be high. Fold, come down. 1 more time. Connect, press, lift. That's it. Fold, coming down. Now we're going to rock ourselves up. We're going to come up into a lunge position. So now we have that that left knee back. That right foot in front. And think of having the knee and the ankle in line. Hands are just coming right on top of the knee. We feel that left glute gently drawing down, the oblique pulling up, and you want that rib cage to be stacked right over the pelvis here. So already, before even moving, we're now just getting this nice sense of length through the front of the hip. And thinking of space, right? So thinking of opening up as much as possible, and then from here, we're going to hinge forward at the knee and the ankle of that right side, creating even a little bit more space to the front of that left hip. And now to come back, think of pulling the quad forward, lifting up through the crown of the head. That's it. Again, a little lunge forward, opening through the front of that hip. And then think just drawing up, press the thigh forward, getting that nice psoas stretch as we come back to vertical. Again, lunging forward, we draw up and come back one more time, lunging forward. Draw up, coming back. Now hands coming down to the mat. Bringing that right knee back. Elbows extended underneath the shoulders. We're drawing up through the front of the body. We have that left toe now reaching long and back. Now again, turning on that left glute. Thinking of activating through the front of the body, we lengthen. Float the leg up. Only coming as high as we can maintain support for our lower back. So we're not rotating or shifting through the pelvis, and then we inhale, tap. Exhale, keeping that pelvis nice and quiet. We lengthen and lift. Inhale, tapping down. Exhale, lift. Inhale, lower. Again, turn on glute, reach up. Inhale, down. Again, lift. Down, strong arms really pushing down away from the mat, and lower. This is 4, beautiful, and tap. Lengthen up 3, and tap. 2, down, 1, hold. Now keeping it here, we're going to take that right arm now. We're going to reach it towards the front of the mat, and then we float it up. Abdominals drawing up. I want you to feel opposition, fingers and toes reaching away from each other. Feeling that connection through the back of the body, but the support through the front, and all we're doing is maintaining for 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and coming down, shifting back into a little shell stretch. Ooh, just waking up the body. And then we're going to come back down onto our mat, repeating that on the other side. I'm going to flip around so you can see my right side that's working. So I'm pulling now my left thigh in, neutral through my pelvis. And then from here, I'm going to start just gently pulling in, stretching through the back of the hip, and then releasing out to where my elbows just lengthen. Again, pulling in, and then reaching out. Again, pull in, lengthen out. One more time. Pulling in, reaching out. Now just gentle pressure in, right foot is planted down, feeling both sides of the pelvis on the mat. Now I'm turning on my right glute first, press down through the foot, and I lift my hips up. I fold and lower down. Connect through the glute. Press down, lift, think of reaching that right knee forward, keeping that left knee in, open through the hips, support through the back, and then we fold. Again, press, connect to lift, lowering down, trying to keep this out of the lower back. Again, press, lift, up, fold down, 2 more. Press, lift, fold, lower. Last time, glute, press up. And coming down, grabbing behind that thigh, still rocking yourself up. Coming into that lunge, right knee is back this time. Left foot is forward. Again, let's check in with the body, let's create space. So we're drawing the glute down. Oblique pulling up, rib cage is stacked over the pelvis. From here now, just doing that slight hinge forward from the knee and the ankle on that left side, opening, and then think of pressing the thigh forward as you come up to vertical, coming back to tall. And again, slight hinge forward. And then press the thigh forward, lifting the vertical as you come back. Again, hinging forward, creating this beautiful space through the front of the hip. Pulling up, coming back. One more time. Hinging forward. Beautiful, drawing up, coming back. Both hands down on the mat. Now have that right foot reaching back, pressing down, feeling the obliques gently drawing up. We have our pelvis square to the mat. Now from here, turning on that right glute as we lengthen and float up. If we feel like we need a shift in response to the movement, we're probably moving too high, and then tap it down. Think of keeping the body quiet and down. Lengthen, connect, lift. Inhale, lower. And in. Lift. Keeping that quad pulling up through the front. Creating space through the front of the body still. Connecting through the back. 6. Down. Lengthen up. 5. Down. Beautiful. 4. 3. 2 more. 2. This is 1 and stay. Take that left arm, reach it towards the end of the mat. And then floating it up. Feeling opposition. Connecting up through the abdominals, and we hold for 6. Reach 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Coming down, sitting back into a shell stretch. Letting the hips relax, the belly relax, the spine and the head. Breathing down into that lower back. Exhaling out. And now we're going to come into a side lying position here. Knees are bent. Both hands are going to come behind the head, almost like we're hiding our face. We're gently squeezing through the inner thighs. We have our pelvis and our rib cage stacked. So I'm going to go into some thoracic rotation. As you inhale, let's lift that top elbow towards the ceiling. And then begin to rotate, opening back. Keeping a gentle pressure in through the inner thigh so we're not just letting the whole body fall, but feeling this nice spiral through the rib cage, mobilizing that upper thoracic spine. And then exhale, coming back down. And on that inhale, we lift, open, and then exhale. One more time. Lift and open. Coming down, now take that top arm, we're going to reach it forward. Now imagine that like you're grabbing a rope and you're going to pull. You're going to bend that elbow now, and as you rotate back, you're trying to get that opposite elbow down to the mat. And then we're going to reach forward, get a little protraction, a little spiral forward. Pull, open, trying to get that opposite elbow down, getting this nice stretch through the front of the chest. And then reach, pull, open, and forward. Last time, grab, pull, open, and coming back center, hand coming down. We're gonna dorsiflex at the ankles, and then we're gonna lift both feet up. So I have this little bit of internal rotation, but watch that it doesn't crunch through that side pelvis. I want you to think of still maintaining this sense of length through the hips. Pelvis is stacked, or length through the side body. Pelvis is stacked. And then from here, we're taking that top knee. We're just moving into a clamshell. We're just getting a nice external rotation and then coming down. Keeping the pelvis quiet. Keeping the side body nice and quiet. Just mobilizing through the hip and down. Exhale, inhale. Up. 5. This is 4. Down. 3. 2 more. 2. And hold. Take that bottom foot, place it down. Now that top leg, we come in, we tap the knees, we do internal rotation, and then we lift, externally rotate. Turn in, lift, turn out. Good, turn in, and turn out. Spiral in, getting nice mobility through the hips. 4, 3, 2 more, 2, out, 1, turning out, and now pushing that leg straight. We're in a nice long line here, turning on the glute, thigh stays stable. We're just bending the knee now, bringing the heel back towards your sitting bone. Again, getting this nice stretch through the front of the quad, front of the hip, and then straight in the knee, press out. Then think pulling back, heel towards sitting bone, and then push, think drawing up through the quad, reaching out. Bend, pull in, lengthening out. 3 more here. 3, out. 2 more. 2, and reach. Last one. 1, and reaching out. We're gonna bend that knee now. We're gonna place down as we come up. So now we're in a mermaid position. And I want you just to reach both arms back behind. Shifting, should I say almost leaning back, pushing away from the mat. Getting this nice stretch through the front of the hip, through the front of the chest and the pecs. Breathing into the front of the body. Opening up through the chest. If you're feeling comfortable, you can make it down to the forearms. I'm not quite there yet, so I'm just going to keep it here. I just wanted to give you that option. And then we're going to walk it forward, bringing the arms out to the side. And then we're going to lean out, coming down to the forearm, giving a nice overhead side body stretch here. And then from here, we're just gonna circle the shoulder. We inhale down, exhale, circle up. We in, lift, 2 more, 2, up, last one, coming down, lift, and then we're gonna rotate. Bringing both forearms down, and then we're just going to push away. Getting this nice flex and this nice stretch right in between the shoulder blades. Breathing into the back and exhaling out. One more time, big breath in. exhaling out. Walk ourselves up. Let's go ahead and repeat that series on the other side. So we're coming down on that mat, starting with that nice rotation. So we're bending the knees, both hands are coming behind the head to start. Inner thighs have a gentle connection, lifting up through that bottom oblique, now that top elbow. We lift, rotate back. And then exhale. Use that inhale to open and spiral back. And then exhale. One more time. In. And now we add that little movement forward as we reach, grabbing that imaginary rope, and then we pull, getting that opposite elbow down, and then reaching forward, grabbing on, pull, elbow down, opening through the chest, and reach, pull, rotate back, and coming forward. Last time, pull, spiral back, and then coming back to the side. We're lifting both feet, dorsiflexing at the ankles, still having space between the rib cage and pelvis. So we lift that top knee up. Inhale, lower down. And feeling the top of the pelvis stabilize. The movement is coming from the hip. And down. We lift. And lower. Up. Down. Beautiful. Lift. 3, 2. Hold it here, bottom foot comes down, now that top knee, we turn in. We lift, externally rotate. Turn in, turn out, nice. And in, lift, spiral out. In, push. 4, lift out. Maybe feeling a little heat through the side glute. Lift. 2 more. 2. Holding yourself on the mat. Last 1. Press, lift, and then we push straight out, rotating to parallel, drawing up through the top of the knee. Now creating space again through the front of the hip, we bend the knee, pull the heel back towards the sitting bone, and push out. Again, bend, and push. That's it. Bending in, pressing out. Think using that hamstring and glute to create the knee flexion. Quad to extend. Now from here we bend, bring it down. So we're in our mermaid position. And then we have the arms reaching back. Opening up the chest. Opening up through the front of the hips. Breathing in here. Exhaling out. Again, another full breath. Up, coming to the side now, we lift, move in. That big, nice side stretch, and then that arm comes down and lift. Again, circle down and up. 2 more. Down, lift. Last one, down and up. Getting a nice side stretch and then rotating both forearms down, pushing into the mat, getting that stretch in between the shoulder blades, breathing into the back. Exhaling out. Again, breathing into the back. And exhaling out. We're going to flip right over now onto our bellies. We're going to have our knees bent. Knees about as wide as the mat, heels together, toes apart. So we're in that heel squeeze prone position with both elbows bent and the hands right on top of the, hands on the mat, your forehead, right on top of your hands. From here, again, that theme of opening up in front of the hips, we have the glutes, or we have the knees gently bent. And we can feel the pubic area gently pressing down and feel the obliques gently drawing up. And then if you think of reaching your knees to the back of the mat, feel how that just opens up a little bit through the front of the hip. Now from here, you can keep your hands here. That's where I told you to have them. But if you bring your forehead down, and then even just bring your hands to your glutes. I want them to be relaxed right now. So again, you can kind of squeeze or move the glute around, move the muscle. And now as you exhale, I want you to think of just turning the muscle on so you can feel them tense underneath your hands. Feel the heels squeeze a little more, maybe the front of the hip opens a little more, and then just turn the muscle off. Again, kind of move it around again. Exhale, turning the muscle on, and then turning the muscle off. And again, we exhale. Gently turn that muscle on, feeling that activation through the back of the body, through the back of the hip, and then turning it off. One more time. Gently turning on, opening through the front of the hip, and then turning off. Now from here, as you turn the muscle on, you're going to lengthen and think of floating the thighs, and then floating the hands just to a hover. And nothing changed here through my lower back. I just extended slightly through the hips. I lifted that thoracic spine to a hover. My abdominals and my glutes are supporting that lower back. And then I lower back down. Exhale, turning on the glutes. I lengthen and float up. Finding that long, low hover. And then I lower back down. 2 more. Exhale. Lengthen up. That's it. Find that low hover. Inhale, lower down. If you are noticing that lower back, play with that range of motion. Don't lift as high. See if you can drop through the lower abdominals a little bit more. We're going to hold it here now. Now we're going to lengthen the knees. My toes or my heels are going to separate. I'm still slightly turned out, so my toes are reaching towards each corner of the mat. And now I'm reaching my arms out, extending at my elbows, reaching over the 2 front corners of the mat here. So I'm in like that nice star position or my swimming prep position. I'm feeling the back of the body turned on, keeping with that long, low hover. Now I'm going to squeeze the legs, reach the hands towards my hips. And then my chest is going to come forward just beyond the mat a little bit more. And then I'm going to reach back out to that long starfish position and that long, low hover. I reach back, squeeze through the inner thighs, lifting the chest a little further forward beyond the mat, and then reaching back out. 2 more. Pull in, lengthen, come up to that long extended thoracic spine, reaching back out one more time. Back, lift, extend, and then reaching back to that long star position, and then lowering everything back down. And our thighs come together. We're gonna push back now more into a shell stretch. So now think of drawing up through the lower abdominals, sitting back, and I'm reaching my arms, and I'm creating this like hollowed out space. So I'm really pushing down in a way, and I want there to be like enough space underneath me that I can almost fit, say, like a beach ball, or like I'm rounding over an animal, getting the stretch really down into that lower back. Breathing in here, exhaling out. One more time, breathing in, and exhaling, rolling up. Now we're gonna make our way down onto our back on the mat. One last time, and we're gonna finish up with a little bit of core work. So we're coming down. We're neutral through the spine and pelvis. We should feel nice and lengthened through the spine here. Feet are flat. We're gonna bring the hands behind the head. Elbows wide, but so you can see them in your peripheral vision. Now from here, we're gonna come into flexion, so we're gonna lift the head, neck, and shoulders. Gaze is looking just beyond the knees, and even though I'm flexed, I'm still thinking of lengthening through my spine. Now I'm gonna reach the arms by the hips, and as I reach the arms, I'm gonna imagine that I'm deepening that flexion just a little bit more. Now I'm gonna maintain it here, bring the hands back behind the head, and then lower everything down. Again, fold and flex. Reach the arms, think of deepening just a little bit. Now maintain here, bring the hands behind the head again, and return back down. Again, fold and flex. Reach, think of deepening, connecting a little more. Maintain, hands come behind the head. Return back down. Again, lift, reach, deepen. Hands come back. Lower everything down. Now just flexing up. We lift for 5. And back. 4. Lifting for 3. Rib cage to pelvis. 2 more. 2. We're going to keep it up on this last one. We fold, lift, maintaining it here. Now that right leg lifts and place it down. Pelvis stays quiet, left leg up and down. Right side, lift and down, left and down. This is 4. Imagine curling a little higher as that leg lowers, just to help maintain. And down. 2 more. 2. This is 1. Lower down, lower the head, neck, and shoulders. Now right leg comes up. We're going to rotate and flex now to the right. And release. Rotate, flex left. And down. Both sides of the pelvis staying planted. Feeling that rotation come from the rib cage. Lift and down. 4, 3, 2 more. Exhale, lift 2. lift 1, release, fold and flex. Arms now reaching forward here. We're pulling that right leg up to tabletop, left leg up to match. We're gonna flex at the heel or at the ankles, reaching the heels. And now that right heel taps away. And lift, left heel. Again, move from the hip and up. We worked a lot on opening through the front of the hip, so feel the hip flexor work eccentrically. It lengthens and then shortens. Abdominals working to stabilize that pelvis and spine. The head needs to lower. Go ahead and let the head lower, or you can bring the hands back to support the head. Again, there's no wrong modifications here, only the right choice for your body. 2, lift, 1, lift, and now that right leg is reaching out. We're gonna speed it up as we pull in, that left leg is reaching out. It's a little more endurance for the obliques to maintain that stability as you switch. 6, push, 5, push, 4, 3, 2, 1, coming center, lower the head. Go ahead, pull those knees into the chest. Crossing at the ankles, we're turning out ever so slightly. We're gonna do circles here now. We pull in and around for 4. 3. Easy circle around for 2. For 1, let's switch the cross and reverse that circle for 4. For 3. 2 and 1. And then bringing the feet down one at a time. Letting the belly relax. Letting the rib cage soften, letting the shoulders fall back. Staying here, taking a big full breath in. Seeing if you can breathe a little deeper, a little longer, a little lower than in the beginning of class. Exhaling out. Last time, full breath in. And exhaling out. Awesome. Awesome work, everyone. Thank you so much for joining me here on the mat for this workout, and I hope that I see you back here again soon. Thank you, everyone.